You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? If you're new to the show, welcome to the show, guys. If you're into anime, if you're into nerd culture, video games, we talk about all of that here, and we got a lot to talk about today. We had a Sony State of Play, gonna talk about that. We had some Street Fighter news, yes, some Street Fighter 5 news. We got some new characters. We got all of these things to talk about, and it actually basically brought to the light something that I was trying to do, I was gonna eventually do, and I think now it's pushed me to go ahead and do that. I'm going to talk about that as well. And we also have my anime watch list, guys. I haven't been watching a lot of anime as of late, but this past weekend, I got a lot of stuff done. I saw a couple of animes and even almost 3 different animes completed. So I'm going to talk about some of those. And then also, we're going to talk about the Avengers beta. Yes, if you guys didn't know, the Avengers beta was up at the time of this podcast, though it is officially done until next week. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about some other dates coming up, the weekend coming up next and the weekend after that, to let you guys know when the betas are going to be available to you, what platforms, are they going to be free, are they going to be closed? We're going to talk about that as well. And then some controversy surrounding this game, around a certain character, a certain web slinging character. We're going to get into all of that, guys. So without further ado, let's begin the motherfucking show. Okay, now let me first start off by sharing with you guys a little information about your boy. A lot of those guys listening to me who've been listening for quite some time, they know that I just had recently a child, a new baby girl. Her name is Yuri. And yeah, trying to navigate around this is going to be new and fresh. When you have a new baby, they don't give a damn. They're just going to cry when they want milk and they're going to wake up. So you have to you have to basically plan everything around that. So I know she wakes up after feeding and she's gone to sleep at anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. So she can sleep from anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. So I know once I feed her, once I burp her and put her to sleep, she's good for at least 3 hours. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what can I get done within these 3 hours? Jump in there and do that. So I'd say about every interaction I have with her is probably going to be around at least, a half hour, 30 to 40 minutes. By the time I, wake her, change her diaper, make sure she's good, all that stuff, feed her, burp her, and then put her back down. It usually takes around that time frame, 40 minutes. So, after that, then I can kind of move around and do what I need to do for those next few hours or so. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do, guys. Is like, she's only been here a couple days, 3 days to be exact now, already trying to, navigate my way through this, because like I said, my son Grayson is 7 years old and it's been a long time since I had to deal with that. And, we're on our own schedule. Like right now, as we speak, as I'm recording this podcast, he's in the room, she's in the room. He's not even asleep. He's up. He's on my sleeping pattern. So he wants to stay and play video games all day, with me. So I have to, do that with him, but I have to bribe him to go to the fucking room and wait and watch his sister and all of that while I come in here and record this podcast for you guys. So yeah, man, it's a lot going on, in the Studio MacGyver's household, but it's all good. A lot to talk about this podcast, guys. Welcome once again to the show. If you are new, I want to welcome you guys, and I hope to see you again next week. We do this every Monday, and we get it on all the time. But anyway, let's start off with, you know what? I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and I'm going to start off with my anime watch list first. I'm going to start off with that first, and I'm starting off with that first because, the last few weeks or so, I hadn't had much time to watch anime like I would have liked to. And it's a slippery slope because, I try to balance them games, anime, sometimes, but it doesn't work out that way, especially when you have a son who just loves games and he's always wanting to play and he's doing these things. And so, I found myself on the gaming side most of the time. And then I watch anime when I can sneak it in and when I can get it in, pretty busy all day. And then when I lay down, I get maybe an hour or two before I fall off to sleep to watch some anime. So this past weekend, or this past week, should I say, I got a chance to get some anime done. And surprising how it works. It just, I'm thinking it's just going to be another week of me trying to get some anime in. And then, I'll get in what I can. And I ended up watching 2 whole anime. Some stuff on my backlist that I've been trying to get to. And I just, picked off the list and said, look, let's just go with this and let's start. Okay. And one of those anime that I got a chance to watch was an anime called The Promised Neverland. Now it's a very popular anime. A lot of you guys may have heard of it, may have seen it. It's one I've been meaning to watch, meaning to get around to, and I'm so glad that I fucking did. It's a nice, short but sweet anime. Of course, if you read the manga, you know that it continues on after the first season. I haven't got a chance to do that. And like I said before, manga is definitely something I'm going to try to explore more of, get into, because of this type of situation. When you finish an anime, there's more to the story. And usually, mangas are ahead of the anime. So whatever you finish on the anime side and you're waiting, sometimes you can't wait. You want to see what's next, and you go out and you read it. The only manga that I really got serious about reading, back in the day, it was fucking Berserk. Berserk had me, dumbfounded. I wanted to know more, and yeah, we know how long that shit is. But anyway, finished The Promised Neverland. It was everything I thought it was going to be, and then some. Had a slow build up at first, and then it just kind of took stride, and it was an amazing story, man. Definitely amazing story about these children. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it starts off very fun and energetic, and all these kids are being nurtured by this one woman they all call mother. And they have other helpers, around who feed them, clothe them, and they just play games all day, and they study and go to school and all these things. But, you start to notice that something doesn't seem right. Something's kind of off. First, when you discover these tattoos on their neck, there's these tattoos with numbers on their neck, and you're wondering, what the fuck is this? What's going on here? And come to find out that they're pretty much glorified cattle. You know what I mean? They take these kids on certain dates, by the time they reach age 12, and they basically take them off to some sort of slaughterhouse, if you will, and they feed on these other beings. Okay. But they have the kids thinking that they've been adopted and they're moving on to bigger and better things. And they've always been told not to go near the gates. Okay. There's gates surrounding the area, and they're told never to go near the gates. So a few kids discover what was going on, and then it's on and popping from there. It's a game of cat and mouse, with the mother who is, her true intentions are actually shown to you. Her backstory is given to you. It's a brilliant story, man. It really is. And I don't want to say everything. I don't want to tell you all of it. You definitely need to check it out. If you have not seen it, it's called The Promised Neverland. And yeah, man, it's definitely sad. Got some sad moments on there, but it's definitely got some triumphant moments in there as well. And I can't wait for the next season on the anime. I don't know when it's coming out. I know the manga is up right now, so I'm thinking of exploring that story. But there's so many more I would like to explore. One, I can think of right now is Shiver River Fell Night, which is just one of my favorite anime of late. And one of those just caught me off guard, and I totally love this series. But yeah, man, there's so many out there. So definitely have a gander at that. The next one I got a chance to watch. I'm surprised I got to watch so much, man. But I also got to watch one. It's an oldie but goodie, apparently, and it's based off a video game, which is kind of backwards. Usually the anime comes out first and they do the video game after. But no, this one is called God Eater. If you guys haven't heard of God Eater, it is fucking dope. It's think of like Monster Hunter, if you're familiar with that franchise. It's got a little bit of Monster Hunter in it, but it's got a dope story in there, about civilization who's basically wiped out by monstrous type of beings, and a chosen few were picked to fight these guys, fight these things. And it's way more to the story than that, but they form a civilization which, like a military, if you will, when they train these people, and they get to live within the walls, or they're actually protected. And then in the outer walls, you have the people who don't have those gifts, but they still give them food and they still make sure that they're able to live. But it's just dangerous and more dangerous out there. It's more like a third world type of country on the outside of the walls. And it's just a lot of things that aren't fair in this universe, in this world. And it's just how life is sometimes. And you see that when you watch this. And it's just a dope series. And it's a short one too. It's only, I think, 12, 13 episodes. And it's another one that I got a chance to watch. I think it came out in 2015. Could be a little earlier than that. I can't quite remember, but I do know this awesome. I do know that I didn't expect it to be that good, and it was that good to me. And I finished it and pretty much one sitting. I may ate something, grabbed a bite to eat or snack or something like that, but I watched it, man, and it was good. So definitely check out God Eater. I think I saw it on Netflix. Yeah, I saw that one on Netflix. Definitely check that one out. I think I saw The Promised Neverland on Hulu. I get it mixed up sometimes, guys. But yeah, I got Hulu specifically for my anime because they have a lot of anime coming on their platform. So I pretty much watch only anime on Hulu when I watch Hulu. There's a few things other shows I might, take a look at, but mainly anime. And then, the other one, I watch a little bit of everything. But I do have a big anime list on there as well too. So yeah, it's kind of balanced on Netflix. But yeah, both great shows. Definitely check them out if you haven't. And the cool thing about watching anime though, man, is you can find something from, 5-10 years ago that you haven't seen and just put it on your list. Hey, it looks interesting. Hey, I'll get around to it. And you finally do. And bang, you got it. And then there's one more that I started watching, and I'm almost done, I think, with this one. I didn't pay attention to how many episodes it had. Sometimes I like to just play it because with anime, you got anywhere from 12 to 13. But if they go past that, then you're probably looking at about, 22 to 24 episodes. But this anime is called Your Lie in April. Now, this is something completely different, guys. Like I said before, I try to give other anime chances now. And this one is about, I don't know if you want to call it romance or not, but it's about this boy who, was a child prodigy at the piano. He was fucking wet. Okay. Amazing or highly skilled, if you guys don't know that term. But yes, he was fucking wet on the piano. Okay. As a little small child. And his mother raised him to be that way. Since he could probably fucking, crawl. It's about him. It's about his struggle after his mother dies to continue on and pursue the piano. And he meets this girl who is a violinist, who is a carefree chick. She loves life. I mean, she's full of life. She loves life. And, he's infatuated by the way she just lives her life, she's so carefree, I'm going to do this, do that without caring about, the end result. She's not playing the violin for, first place. She's just playing because she wants to play. She wants people to hear her play, and it's a story. It's a dope story. I mean, I found myself not able to stop watching it. So I think I've watched, I must have watched 11 or 12 episodes already. So if I'm not almost done, then I'm halfway. Like I said, I'm referring to, the number of episodes a lot of these anime have, and I didn't check. Yeah, so far, man, I'm definitely invested in it, and it's something that I typically would not watch. I'm usually into that shonen type of anime. That's what I, dig the most. Your Fire Force, your Dragon Ball, of course, your Naruto, your Shippuden, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, those type of things. I typically lean towards. But after watching a couple other animes that caught me off guard, which, one in particular was High Score Girl, I decided to, expand my horizons and watch more anime, give more genres a chance to see if I like them or not. And I'm glad that I did because, it doesn't always have to have action, punching, kicking, killing, and all that involved in anime for it to be good. I think that's the beauty of anime. There's so much to consume. There's so many different avenues you can take. And I mean, I just love that about it. So now I don't cringe when I see an anime that doesn't look action like entertaining or whatever. I read a synopsis and then I just jump in. You know what I mean? Some of them still will miss. Some of them still won't, hit. And that goes for all anime, to be honest. But the ones that resonate with me, hey, they resonate in a good, great way. And then before I started even recording this podcast, I recently restarted Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online is a classic of mine. It's one of my favorites as well. The first season for sure. Let's not. Second season was okay. I didn't even watch season 3. No, yeah, I did watch season 3. I did watch season 3, and then there's another one that I didn't get a chance to watch because it just seemed like every season after that, it kind of just took steps down. After that, it's just nothing can touch the first episode, the first season. I mean, the first season could have ended just the way it was, and it would have been perfect. Okay, but it felt like it was done after season 1, and then they just, money was like, yo, okay, we're getting money to do another one. Let's just make some shit up and make another story arc for it. So that's kind of how I feel about Sword Art Online as a whole. But as the season 1, man, I fucking love it. I will buy season 1 and I won't give a fuck about the rest, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm watching season 1 right now. I think I'm like 5-6 episodes in right now, and it's just good, man. It's just really, really good, and I'm watching that. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of anime this week. Now it's crazy because next week, it'll come around, and when I talk to you guys, I'll tell you I didn't get a chance to watch any anime this week. So it's crazy like that. Who fucking knows? I think I'm going to be watching more anime now for the simple fact that my daughter's here. And, when I'm holding her, feeding her and all those type of things, kind of want to just sit and chill with her for a little bit and, try to do that. So I'm going to raise her, and she's going to be pre-exposed to anime. So she's going to know anime before she's even able to talk. She's going to recognize characters, and she's not going to know why. That's the type of daughter I'm going to raise. Her name is Yuri. I love Japanese culture, a lot of the names and all of these things. So yeah, man, that's what I've been doing on the anime tip. And if you guys haven't seen any of these, definitely check them out. There's some good shit out there. All right. Now that we're off of the anime tip, we can go ahead and we can get to the next lecture at hand. And that lecture at hand, I think, is going to be some Street Fighter. Okay, let's talk some Street Fighter, guys. I'm so excited to talk about this. I can't believe I'm excited to talk about Street Fighter right now because I have a love-hate relationship with Capcom when it comes to Street Fighter 5, their series, man. And if you guys don't know, I mean, when Street Fighter first came out, it was a piece of fucking boo-boo. It was, hardly any characters. There was no arcade mode. It took years before they finally got an arcade mode. I mean, and I think that was just retarded. Okay. There's no excuse for that. And I don't know what Capcom was fucking thinking, man. I really fucking don't. But one thing I can't thank Capcom for is what they've done in the past. And they can never take away those great classics, a lot of those great games that they made. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But right now we're talking about Street Fighter 5. We got some new info, guys. We have got actually a review of 5 characters to come. So we have 5 new characters on the way. 4 of them have already been revealed. We don't know the 5th one, but the 4 characters that have been revealed right now are Oro from, he's from Street Fighter Third Strike, Street Fighter 3, which is my favorite Street Fighter game. Okay. It's just a beautiful game. Anyway, yes. Then you have fucking Dan, a cult classic favorite, in the franchise. Dan is just one of those characters, man, a joke character, but he's also pretty dope. I've always liked Dan, and he's coming. He's going to actually be the first character to release, which is going to be this winter. So be looking out for Dan in the winter time. Also, we have Rose. Rose, yes, another character who a lot of people really, really like. She's going to be joining the fray. And then last but not least, the 4th character is Akira. And she is from not one of my favorites. She is from my favorite Capcom fighting game. And that is Rival Schools. Yes, Rival Schools, if you guys did not know, is my favorite Capcom game. I remember, spending hours and hours at the arcade playing this fucking shit. And then I remember it coming out for the Sega Dreamcast. The second game, and that game looked even better and had way more characters, and it was just deeper and had more stuff to add. So it was just basically on steroid version of that. And I love that franchise. I really do. I actually went on a fucking whim and had an impulse buy a couple of nights ago, and went ahead and bought the Dreamcast version of that game. The beautiful thing about video games and our, I guess, culture, if you will, and then combine that with the technology of today, now you can have these recreated games. So you can literally, if you can't find the actual game that came out for the Dreamcast, which if you tried would cost hundreds of dollars, you could go that route. Or you could say, you know what, I just want the game, but I want the game in, if I could have it in a brand new package with brand new artwork and all of these things to make it look like it was an actual game, you can get that, even the game disc. Okay, there are people out here right now that you can literally go and buy Sega Saturn games, you can buy PlayStation 1 games, redone, remade, the artwork on the discs, the artwork on the packaging, all of these things, and they are making them for you at a fucking fraction of the price. I bought Rival Schools for like $12. Okay. And it comes in a real case, and it comes in a decorated disc. The disc has artwork on it. So you can't beat that at all. You can get your collection back, and then now I have to find a Dreamcast because I have my Sega Saturn. Now I need to find a Dreamcast. So I'm trying to find the games that I want to get right now. So they're here. So when I do get the Dreamcast, boom, I can put it in and I can start playing. So yeah, man, I'm really excited to play some of these games again. I was going to, like I said before, I was going that route eventually. I was going to do that. But after seeing this announcement from PlayStation 5 and seeing that Akira's in the game, I was like, yo, I have to play some more Rival Schools. I really do. And if you guys don't know about Rival Schools, that series, that franchise, you definitely need to check it out. If you're a fighting fan, it was a game that it was just so good. It had their own thing to it. And they said that they were going to be adding that into Street Fighter V when you play as Akira. Now, I don't know what it's going to be. There's a bunch of different things that they could use. One of my favorites from the Rival Schools franchise that they do is they have this pepping system where, like, say you're into it and you're in a battle, basically you get knocked down, or you have a teammate come in and they'll slap you on your back. And they'll continue to just slap you as hard as they can on your fucking back and get you hype, make you excited. And then you all of a sudden emit, some kind of key blast out of your body. It's crazy dope. And it's just something never seen before. I love it. But yeah, it's a good time to be a gamer. It's a great time to be a retro gamer, man. And yeah, so you can find a Dreamcast for anywhere from $90 to, maybe $125 out there, somewhere around there. And you might be able to get cheaper if you look a little harder. But yeah, that's the average price. Moving Trading Company has them. My local one doesn't. I just checked, but hopefully I can find one close. If not, hey, eBay, hey, tell me how you feel. Maybe even Amazon might even have some. So yeah, that's my route. That's where I'm going to be going with it. And yeah, I'll be playing some of those games all over again. Especially you have so many dope games. You have one of my other favorite franchises who basically took a nosedive recently in recent years, which is Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive is the shit. I love their fighting engine. They just, they're money hungry. Tecmo is like, they're thirsty. They're too fucking thirsty, and they're killing their franchise right now. But nobody can take away, that Dead or Alive 2, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. These games are awesome. They still hold to this day, man. Just great fighting games, period. And then SNK versus Capcom 2, or you can say Capcom versus SNK 2, potato. But that game is one of the most awesome games. You got Street Fighter and you got fucking Capcom characters going against SNK, which SNK, I think, in my opinion, is really, really underrated, man, as a fighting game franchise. Like the King of Fighters series, Guru Mark of the Wolves, which is probably one of my favorite fighting games all time. It's just a dope fucking game, period. Okay. These are some of the best games produced. Okay. The Last Blade series, Last Blade 1 and 2, like dope games. If you guys haven't heard of these, Google this shit when you get a chance. If you're into fighting games, if you're into 2D, beautiful sprite-based video games, check these out. You will not be disappointed. But these are some of the games, and this is why fighting games are my second favorite genre in video games. Okay, if I'm not fucking with a fighting game, I'm definitely fucking with, you know, those open world, you know, action adventure type experiences. That's my wheelhouse, baby. Okay, so always and forever. Anyway, yeah, I got really excited talking about this, guys. And when we're talking about Street Fighter, also, I have to add that if you guys didn't know, Street Fighter 6 is in development. Street Fighter 6 is a thing. It is coming, and you definitely need to look for it in the future on the new consoles, on the future consoles. The reason why, this is what I heard, okay, out here in these digital streets, the reason why they even put out this new season of characters was only because they were fucking up in the development of Street Fighter 6. Okay, apparently the lead head guy that was in charge of making Street Fighter 6 or whatever, designing it and doing all that, he basically was making poor decisions. He was out there in his office drinking sake. He was smoking scrolls. He was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing and making decisions that weren't becoming of somebody in his position, apparently, because they have people who are actually beta testers and play testers right now who are basically playing what he gave out, and they were not pleased at all. They were basically saying the feedback is just whack. It's a negative. This game's going to suck if it keeps going this route. And apparently he wanted to do some sort of tag thing. Okay. He wanted to make it tag based. Now, if you're a Capcom player, if you're a Street Fighter player, you know, tag is not it. Okay, Street Fighter is known for the one-on-one gameplay, and that's how it should be, and that's how most of us want it to stay. Okay, and I think he was trying to go in a different direction, what people were not pleased with, and I think there was more to it than that, but that's one of the reasons. So he was demoted. He was literally demoted, given another position, and they brought somebody else in. I don't know her name. I do know it's a female somebody, but I do know that right now, currently, the changes that she has made thus far, from what I hear, are great, and the testers and everybody involved are really gravitating to the way she's decided to go about the business. So apparently now, as of this podcast, we're in good hands moving forward with Street Fighter 6, but it's going to be a while before we see Street Fighter 6. I'm talking maybe 2022 now. It was supposed to be 2021 early, first quarter, somewhere around, but because of that, because of these snafus, this is what happened. And to remedy that stretch of time, they decided to go ahead and put a development team around a new season of characters. And this is where we're at right now. And hey, I'm not going to hate on that, because if we can get Dan and we can get characters like Akira from fucking Rival Schools, let's make it fucking happen. Okay. Because this game has been through its share of trauma, through its share of boo-boo. And we all know it if you're players of the franchise and you know how it goes, how, you know, Capcom is very, very stingy. They're very money hungry when it comes to this game, man. And it's just a bad look. I mean, other people are trying to follow suit. Like I said, the Dead or Alive series was doing it, and that's what's running them into the ground. The poor netcode, the non-support from the team, the dev teams out here trying to make this game, you know, compete. Because that's one of the best fighting engines out here, in my opinion, man, the Dead or Alive engine. And they're not giving a fuck. Okay. And it's driving them into the ground. And, you know, Capcom has had their problems, you know, for quite some time as well. You know, everything is costing, everything is money. You know, now they have, you know, re-released, you know, the Champion Edition and all that, and you get more for your money now. But, you know, as they were coming out, man, everything was being bird fed to us, everything. And for the people who paid that money and all that, now to turn around and get this Championship Edition, you know, it would rub some people the wrong way a little bit. The people who have been down from day one, the people who took the chance on the franchise no matter what and spent their money and did these things, they're the ones that aren't going to be winning from this. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. You can look at it both ways and you wouldn't be wrong either way. But that's pretty much what I have for you guys on the Street Fighter news, the Street Fighter tip. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you could take some of that information and use it. If you are a Street Fighter fan, I'm sure you knew about this, about these rosters already. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. That's something that Capcom can at least smile upon, that we're getting some new characters finally. And I'm wondering what Street Fighter 6 is going to be. I'm wondering how they're going to do this. Are we going to get the characters that we already have? I mean, who fucking knows, guys, but they better do something. And can we get there's some other characters that I would like, added that haven't been here. I'd like to see Sean. I would definitely like to see Sean. You have his sister in the game. I mean, I'm thinking, put him in the fucking game. I mean, I would like to have him there, but who knows, man, what we have for the future. We'll see. Keep our eyes peeled, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right. Now let's talk about Sony. Sony State of Play. We had a State of Play. Let's talk about it. I want to basically talk about the games that I saw and that I liked, and we'll go from there. Now, everybody who was looking for the State of Play kind of had an indication or idea that it wasn't going to be like a major State of Play. This one wasn't going to be, any new IPs or anything like that, necessarily. Okay, we had some IPs that I haven't seen before, but not AAA. They didn't seem AAA to me. But we'll talk about the ones that I saw and that I liked or were not. Okay. Now they did give us some Godfall gameplay. We got some more Godfall gameplay, a little bit of explanations of what was going on with the game, what to expect. And, I have to be honest and say that, I was okay with this game. I mean, is it something that I would play? Yes, it is. Now, is it something that I would pay $70 for when the PlayStation 5 comes out? I still don't know yet. I'm still on the cusp of that, because now, $70, man, for a game, you really have to be, wise on what you're doing. Now, the cool thing about the PlayStation 5, though, with the backwards compatibility thing is you don't necessarily have to buy anything new if you don't want to right now. You can still hold on to your backlog and play those on there, and you can get that enjoyment out of that. You can. I don't know if people are going to be renting games or not, but I would really advise people to rent some of these games if you can. Being a brand new system and all of these things, and then the game prices will drop. That's just how it works. You wait a couple months, man, they will start to drop, especially when you start getting more games kicked out there, and that's going to happen. So, now Spider-Man Miles Morales, I'd probably pick that one up. That's probably the one I'd buy starting out. But, that's just me. But Godfall did look pretty good. It did look pretty good. I just have to see a little bit more. I just do. Yeah, but that's what they showed. They showed some of that. They showed a game called Hood, Outlaws and Legends. Okay. And it's slated for 2021, and it looks okay. I mean, it looks kind of like an Assassin's Creed type of game. That's the vibe I got off of it. We didn't get any gameplay or anything. We just got like a little trailer, but it looked interesting enough, but it's a game that, of course you want to see more on it before you, dive in and put all your money on the table. And then there's another game called Anno, ANNO, Mutationum. So it's mutation with EM at the end of it. It's slated for December of 2020. The game looked pretty fucking interesting. That's all I can say. Just check it out, Google it, and tell me what you guys thought about it. I don't have a lot to say on a lot of these games. Another game I checked out and saw was Aeon Must Die, AON Must Die, and that's slated for 2021. The game looks awesome. This is like a shell shaded kind of look. It looks anime style, like so anime art style. Everything looks hand drawn on this. It looks amazing. It really does. I don't even know what kind of game this is. It looks like an RPG type of action RPG type of thing. Not much is known on it now. I'm going to dive in a little further later, and I'll probably readdress this topic, this subject, maybe on a YouTube channel or something like that. But right after, right before I was going to record, I got some new info on this game, and it wasn't good. It was apparently the studio responsible for making this game. There's a lot of shit going on in the background, and I'm not even talking about gaming wise. I'm talking about like, it's supposed to be some sort of toxic environment. There's a lot of shit going on back there. And supposedly a lot of people have quit. And I mean, a lot of people, the majority of people have walked out. I'm saying, look, we're tired of this shit. We're done. And yeah, it's on some crazy shit like that. So I'm going to get, I'm going to look into that a little further, and I'm going to get more information before I speak on it. But yeah, man, I heard that, and I'll definitely be, talking about that at a later date. But the game looks awesome. You cannot deny that. And it's a shame that a lot of these games that come out that are awesome games, you hear things that go on, in the workplace for a lot of the workers and the devs and the people who, are working their asses off, and they have to put up with a lot of fuckery in the building. And it's crazy out here, man. And when I say it's real out here in these digital streets, I don't just mean playing inside of the gaming worlds. Okay. I'm talking about the people who are creating them. Okay. It's real out here in these digital fucking streets. Anyway, moving on to my most anticipated game that they showed at the Sony State of Play. I've already talked about it before. I've seen it before. A lot of you guys may have seen it before as well. It's an open world RPG, but I can't believe I'm saying this. It's a fucking free to play game. I've never been hype about a free to play game ever. Not like this. Okay. The closest I came to a free to play game that I just really, really loved it wasn't DC Online. It wasn't anything like that. It was Warframe. Okay. And this game here, I don't know what it is. It's the art style, I think, too, with a combination, but the game is called Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact. Okay. It's slated really, really soon, guys. Autumn 2020. They said it's coming out before October. So the next couple of months, we're going to see this game, and it's going to be crossplay everywhere. And when I say crossplay everywhere, I mean fucking PC. I mean Nintendo Switch. I fucking mean PS4. I mean fucking IS. I'm sorry. I mean fucking Android and iOS, man. All of that shit. And God damn it, as I'm saying this and speaking right now, guys, my daughter is literally up. She just woke up in the background. And if you hear anything in the back, that's her. That's her crying, probably because she woke up hungry. Yeah. And like I said, this is the type of thing that you guys are probably going to need to get used to for the foreseeable future. I try my best to plan around it. And, it sometimes doesn't work out the way. I literally fed her maybe an hour and a half ago. But she's waking up again for whatever reason. Maybe she needs a diaper changed or something. She's uncomfortable, and that's the situation we're in. But yeah, I was getting ready to wrap up anyway very soon. But anyway, yes, man, check out Genshin Impact, guys. It's the art style to this game is beautiful. It's like Breath of the Wild meets anime. The characters look really, really anime. The worlds are really crisp, and the colors are really, really fucking saturated. And you can apparently do a lot of shit with this game. It's supposed to be a gacha game. If you're not familiar with gacha games, they basically are around, basically you're playing the game. They give you a certain amount of characters and you play the game, and then you meet other powerful characters. And if you want that character, you can either do it the long way, which is the grind way, where you save a lot of shit and you get this one character, or you can say, fuck it, I'll pay this $9.99 for this character and all this shit. And then, there's a lot of cosmetics out here too. So you can deck your character out in all kinds of different things, weapons or gear. So you get all these things, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to this. I cannot believe it. If you guys haven't heard of this game, you owe it to yourself to at least check it out. You can't lose if it's free to play. You're not going to lose anything. You can download it, try it out for yourself, and then, go from there. I mean, the traversal in the world, you can fly around. There's all kind of different things you can do. And I really can't wait to play this. I really want to play this. And it even surprised me that it's free to play, because I was ready to put 60 on the table on this one. But hey, no, you don't have to do that. We can definitely just check it out and play it for free. It's beautiful. Okay. That's pretty much all that I took from the Sony State of Play. Now, there are more to come, of course. And apparently there's rumors out here in these digital streets. People are saying that, it's going to get real. And I mean, real quick. Okay. They have apparently been sitting on a lot of different IPs that we don't know about, or that we're hoping we're going to get. And they're waiting to reveal this shit to us, guys. It's coming. It's coming very, very fucking soon. So if I were you, I would get the popcorn ready, because it's coming and I can't fucking wait. That is it for the Sony State of Play on my end. Last thing I want to talk about before I get up out of here is the Avengers beta. Okay. Now, if you guys didn't know, if you were hiding on a rock or anything like that, and if you were looking forward to playing this game, the beta was just live this past weekend. Now, the only way you could play it is if you had a PS4 and you had to pre-order the game. Now, you had 2 days to play it. I think you had Friday to Sunday to play it. So as of this podcast, of course, it's over and done with now. But there's 2 more weekends coming. The next weekend was going to be the 14th through the 16th. And that's going to be open to PS4. That's going to be open beta. So if you have a PS4, you can play it for free. You can get a chance to play it for that weekend. But if you have an Xbox or if you're a PC player, you have to fucking, just like the week before, you have to fucking pre-order the game to play it. All right. The week after that, which is the 21st to the 23rd, it's open to everybody. So if you just wait a weekend or 2, depending on what console you have, you can just fucking play the shit for free and not worry about it. I don't want to be, pigeon-toed, or I don't want to be, forced to have to pre-order the game to play the game myself. So if you just be patient, you'll get a chance to do it, and you can judge for yourself if you think it'll be worth picking up. And that's what I would do. You know what I mean? Is it cool to make somebody pre-order to get them, extra access? I mean, you can argue that. You could say, okay, you're a fan of the game. You know you're going to get the game. You're in love with the game. You know you want it, and it's going to get bought anyway. So you can do that. And I kind of see them trying to give fans a little bit extra. But for people like me who are on the fence on it, because there's been things said about it in the past to make me just want to just, pump my brakes first before I move forward. You can kind of look at it like, well, shit, I'll just wait and see. So I'm on that kind of wait and see thing. I do want to play it. I was kind of bummed that I couldn't play it right now, but I wasn't going to pay $60 in the game, not even be in my hands, just to play it for a couple days. I just wasn't going to do that. So, it is what it is. It wasn't a guarantee buy for me. Is it on the list? Yes, it is on the list, but I have to see a little bit more, and that's what we're waiting on now. So I've heard, good things about it. I've seen some gameplay in Black Widow. To be honest, it looks like a pretty awesome character. Really, really does. There's been some things said about Iron Man that if you're an Iron Man fan, you might not really necessarily want to hear. And it really has to do with the flying aspect in the game. When you watched, some of the other trailers and stuff and you saw Iron Man flying around, he looked like he could kind of just do what he wanted, go freely and do all that. But no, it's not. It doesn't work that way. He's limited. If you fly too high up, the game will literally tell you, come down lower or else you will be automatically killed. So you gotta watch where you fly at. So you're not free just to roam around. They didn't make the stages like that open as it may seem. And, that's why I wanted to get my hands on it myself so I could see and peep out the limitations of how everything's going. So I'm going to be doing that. Like I said, next weekend, guys, it's going to be free for PS4, and I'm going to play it this next weekend, and I'll definitely let you guys know my thoughts on it. And hopefully you guys can give me some feedback as well. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a worthy game? Supposedly they're making it as they want the game to be a ongoing game. So it is there's a story within the game, but after that, it's open, so it's kind of like a fucking, basically say free to play in a sense, because a lot of free to play games are just, hey, you go in, you log in, you go on your fucking raids and you get your loot and you wash, rinse and repeat. It's kind of one of those things. And if you want to spend money, you do it on cosmetics and things of that nature. So that's what I think this is going to be. But this is a paid game though. This is not free to play. Okay. Now, could I see this going free to play in a couple years or so? Yes. And the last thing I wanted to talk about with this game really is the controversy surrounding the Spider-Man shit. There's a lot of shit going on about Spider-Man, and there's a lot of people butthurt about Spider-Man. And I say that because Spider-Man is only going to be exclusive to the Sony PlayStation. Okay. So if you don't have a Sony PlayStation and you want to fucking play as Spider-Man, you're not going to get that. It's not going to happen. So people are really mad and they're going on these rants and they're talking about, well, everybody paid the same price for the game, but we don't get this character. Well, if this was crossplay, I could definitely see a lot of people kicking up saying, but it's not crossplay. I don't think they're sharing servers. And I think part of that is going to be the reason. Now, here's another thing. Spider-Man, he's not coming out until 2021 sometime. So it's not like when the game drops, he's going to be available or anything like that. They're literally working on this character right now. Okay. Now, here's my thing with that. For somebody to be working on a character this far into the future, they must really have a lot of faith in this game, because most games like this don't keep up hype after 6 to 9 months, man. It's pretty much, it fizzled out. Yeah, of course you'll have some players that'll still linger around or whatnot, but most people aren't going to be worried or care about Spider-Man being added to the roster come 2021 after, a year after the game's been released. That's just, my opinion on it. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, they must really have faith in this game, because this game could come out and fucking flop and fizzle out and nobody will even give a damn that Spider-Man is going to be in the game in the first place anyway. So the people bitching and moaning about, having Spider-Man in there, they'll probably be done playing this game anyway by the time Spider-Man gets released. So, you could look at it bunch of different ways, a bunch of different angles, but that's the angle I'm looking at it from. So I just want to see if it's going to make it that far, because games coming out all the time. And by that time, I'm sure we'll have a handful of games out and about and people are excited about and whatever. And, this is probably not going to be on the top of their list. So with that being said, I will leave it there, put my money on the table and walk away. All right. Now the show is done. The show is complete. I'm about to get up and go see what this girl is fussing about. Oh, her fat, chubby little butt. She just doesn't know, but it's all good. I love her to fucking death, man. And I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. And if you want to get at me, if you want to reach out to your boy on social media, it's very easy to do so. I'm available on a lot of different platforms. You can check out my Instagram at StudioMaguyver79. You can also check out Twitter at StudioMaguyver, and also check out the Facebook page. That's at StudioMaguyver as well. Also, if you guys are listening and you enjoy this podcast, check out the motherfucking YouTube channel, please, and subscribe to the channel. That's StudioMaguyver TV. I talk about all kinds of things that I'm talking about here now. I put out content 3, 4, 5 days a week. So yeah, please just subscribe, and you'll be doing your boy a great fucking favor. Okay. And also, if you want, only if you want to, if you feel like making a donation, if you feel like, putting one down for the cause, it could be $1, it could be $2, it could be 10, it could be 5. I don't give a damn, but it's for the cause. You could also check out your boy on the Cash App. If you have the Cash App, you can definitely hit me up at Studio MacGyver on the Cash App. Okay. Just putting that out there for you guys. Okay. Now, with that being said, I am going to get out of here now. I'm on here every Monday for the newcomers. We talk about anime, we talk about video games, nerd culture at its finest. So I want to thank everybody who's been listening, all the people who've been down. I've been getting a lot, and I do mean a lot of new listeners as of late. And I want to thank everybody for joining the show. I do. I really, really do. It means a lot. And I hope to see you guys again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'm going to get out of here now, guys. I hear crying in the background once again. So with that being said, this is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.